Lumpinee Boxing Stadium is a boxing arena in Bangkok, Thailand, and has become the symbol of modern Muay Thai. Lumpinee Stadium is the second national stadium built in Thailand after Rajadamnern. Lumpinee Stadium opened its doors on December 8, 1956, and the stadium is operated by the Army Welfare Department of the Royal Thai Army. All proceeds from the fight go towards supporting the various departments. Only Rajadamnern Stadium rivals the prestige of holding the title Lumpinee Stadium Champion. On this episode of The Real Fight Club, first an intro to Muay Thai from the TV program Wow. Then it's off to Lumpinee Boxing Stadium where we'll see highlights from the main event. Then a demonstration of ancient Muay Thai. My name is Coach D and these are from my personal archives on The Real Fight Club. If you're new to Muay Thai, here's a quick intro that we produced for WOW TV. The clips were made from my journeys to Lumpinee Stadium, all around Bangkok, and the world-famous Muay Thai Academy in North Hollywood.
Muay Thai has a long history in Thailand and is the country's national sport. Traditional Muay Thai practice today uses kicks, elbows, knees, and punches. They fight in a ring with gloves similar to those used in Western boxing. There are over 65,000 professional fighters in Thailand. Compare that to almost 3,000 professional boxers in the United States. That's a lot of butt kicking. The fighters enter a ring similar to that of Western boxing. Hey, why do they call this square a ring? Muay Thai became a sport in which opponents fought in front of spectators. This kind of contest gradually became an integral part of local festivals and celebrations, especially those held at temples. It was even used as entertainment to the kings. Originally fought with bare fists, fighters started wearing lengths of rope wrapped around their hands and forearms. One of the most important traditions of Muay Thai is the Wai Crew, which is paying respects to the teachers. It's a pre-fight ritual where fighters dance around the ring. Okay, dance with your partner and then beat the crap out of them. Muay Thai is referred to as the science of 8 limbs, as the hands, shins, the elbows, and knees are all extensively used in this art. I didn't know science can hurt this much. Fighters normally fight 5 3-minute rounds. Wow, I would need a full nap after a round like that. Let's check out the technique again. They have punches. Now this is the only part they hit with padding. Elbows. Wow, that bony part can cut. Kicks that can deliver 1,000 pounds of force. And knees that generate force like a 35-mile-an-hour car crash. Better buckle up your seatbelt. A lot of fighters begin their training as early as 6 years old. Even women fight Muay Thai. Due to the rigorous fighting and training regimen, as some boxers fight almost every other week, professional Muay Thai fighters have relatively short careers. Many retire from competition to begin instructing the next generation of Thai fighters. Most professional Thai boxers come from the lower economic backgrounds, and the fight money is sought as a means of support for fighters and their family. But no matter how you knock it, Muay Thai is a knockout. Wow.
Lumpinee Stadium is one of the few places in Thailand where gambling is permitted, and it takes place on the second level of the arena. Betting is done by hand signals, as in the stock exchange on the trading floor. The year is 2004, and we're at Lumpinee Stadium for the highlights of the main event. The first thing you notice about when you arrive at Lumpinee Stadium, there's a bunch of day-glow banners and signs. Day-glow paint with the fights in pink, yellow, purple. And there's stores on each side of the stadium where you can buy boxing equipment. This is the main event, and what you're watching right now is the fighters sealing off the ring. And now they seal the ring, they're doing the Wai Crew. Wai Crew literally means paying respects to your teachers. And when they enter the ring, they climb over the ropes because the head is held sacred and the feet is considered dirty. So they don't want their feet going higher than their head. They pay homage to north, south, west, and east. And they pray to their teachers, anybody that's taught them, their masters, their parents, their God. A lot of times they pray to the King of Thailand. The referee calls them together, separates them apart. And the fighters now begin the first 2 rounds. Now, you'll notice in the first couple rounds, they're not really going hard. They're just really trying to measure each other out, throwing technique per technique, and evading, countering. And a lot of times they're setting up the bets. So if you're in a stadium on the second level, you'll see a bunch of people making bets. There's a guy facing them. They're throwing various hand signals, and they're placing their bets. And when I was there, they actually had a small riot because I guess somebody was unhappy with the decision. So Thai fighters are known for their conditioning, and when they do strike, they strike with extreme power. Muay Thai is a knockout game, so if you can win by knockout, that's the ultimate prize, undisputedly. They're the gamblers right there, making their wagers with the person with the hand signals. Stadium's packed right now. Very old stadium. Here you go for the next round. Fighters still measuring each other off. And the fight really doesn't begin till the third round. Third round, they really just turn it on like 1,000%. This fight's very interesting because it's 2 southpaws facing each other. And it's a beautiful sweep kicking that leg out. When a person tries to check and he kicks the standing leg out. So the referee's trying to signal him to turn on the action. And the fighter's really trying to put on the pressure right now. The fighter in the red shorts playing the aggressor on this. Fighters lock up for a moment, try some knees. These fighters are fighting with 8-ounce gloves. Lumpinee Stadium is considered the mecca of Muay Thai. If you can become a stadium champion, it's actually much more prestigious than, let's say, the WBC or WMC. If you're the stadium champion, you are the king of the house. So, held in high regards. So you see now they're just turning on the heat a little bit and really trying to make a decisive score on that's the end of the round, on the judges' scorecards. And here we go in the 4th and 5th rounds, and they're just going at it right away. As you can see, boom, elbow, nice cross. Fighter in the red shorts really turning on the heat, and the fighter in the blue trying to rally back. When you are at the stadiums and you're the fighter that you favor strikes, the whole crowd goes oi oi, and he makes so much noise, and it's so electrifying. The cheering, the sound, and a lot of times before I went to Thailand, I watched a lot of fights. Wow, look at this flurry. I watched a bunch of fights, and they didn't have the ring mic, but when you were there, you hear the power and the leather flying, the feet smacking, and man, look at this. This guy's just all over him like a cheap suit. Boy. This is one of the most exciting fights I've seen. That night I went to Lumpinee Stadium for that 2 weeks I was there. I went there 3 times, so it's a great night. One of the best fights I've seen. These guys are really throwing a lot of leather. So the new Lumpinee Stadium opened in 2014. I have not been to the new stadium, so a little bit out of town. This one, man, so many legends have been there. When you sit on the bleachers, you just look underneath, and there's just like so much trash underneath the bleachers, and man, probably some of the trash is older, just as old as the stadium. It was raining the night before. Some of the cement was still wet and everything. It was just like that smell, that must, that kind of wooden frame that kind of absorbs all the smell and moisture. It was a great night at Lumpinee. And when they're fighting, there's a live band playing. When you see a Muay Thai fight in America, you hear the same CD soundtrack playing over and over again. Usually, on a 3-round fight, they're playing tracks for the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. But here there's a live band, and the band is just playing, and they play according to the tempo of the action. And so it's just exciting when you hear the music too, and it's not pre-recorded, and they're just almost like composing for the fighters and for the fight. Great rally back and forth. So damage, if you don't knock your opponent out, damage is the most important thing. And here we go. This is the 5th and final round here, and they're just going at it. A lot of times fighters, their camps are making side bets, and so there's money at stake. So not only the purse is involved, but there's actually gambling. And then some of the high rollers will go up to the fighter and says, "Hey, if you win by knockout or whatever, I'll give you an extra, $1 million baht or whatever, And so there's a lot of incentive besides the purse itself. And that's what makes the fight so exciting. Referee breaks him out of the clinch, resets the action. And these forward fighting is what you see a lot of times in Muay Thai, so not a lot of running around. So even the fighter's being driven back, he'll still fight backwards, still use his counters and so on. A lot of times the fighter thinks they're winning, though. They may, just back off a little bit because they believe they won the critical rounds. And the 5th round may be a giveaway, but this one, they're still going at it. Great action of Muay Thai. If you ever get a chance to go to Thailand, please watch a fight either at Rajadaman or Lumpinee Stadium. You'll get a whole new perspective on the sport, being there live, hearing the crowd, hearing the smacking, the leather, the crunch, the smell, everything that's behind it. Wide crew, the music, the live band. What a treat. Muay Baran, or ancient boxing, is an umbrella term for unarmed martial arts of Thailand prior to the introduction of the modern equipment and rules. In the 1920s, ancient Thai boxing was still fought with rope bound around the fists, but when a fighter died from a punch to the throat, Muay Thai was then modernized with the boxing gloves we see today. Here's a demonstration of Muay Baran as expertly performed at Lumpinee Stadium. So these fighters are now also performing the wide crew, and so you see they're not wearing boxing gloves. And so I think it was mid 1920s, fighter died in the ring from a punch to the throat. They were wearing rope bound around the fist, as you see right here. And since then, they modernized the sport, and so they wear boxing gloves. Muay Thai used to be known as the art of 9 limbs. We call it the art of 8 limbs because headbutts were allowed too. Headbutts were subsequently taken away also. The crew, and so Wai Crew means respect or paying respects to the teachers. And so they would pray to their parents or their actual trainer, and maybe the king of Thailand or whichever god or Buddha or whatever they believe in. And they'll do it to 4 corners, north, south, east, and west. And a lot of times you can identify the fighter from the type of Wai Crew they perform. Different camps, different schools have different styles of Wai Crew, so you can watch the type they do and identify the gym or camp they train out of. And also in bedding, if you don't know the fighters, you can check on them. You check on their poise, check on their balance, just check on their overall movement, and you can tell how coordinated they are, how balanced they are. So a lot of times it does help also set up the bedding too, if you not familiar with the fighters. So the fighter wearing the blue trunks is doing the Ramway. Ramway is actually the fight dance, and so a lot of these dance rituals will emulate a story, a fable, as told in Thai folklore. And there'll be things like King Rama, hunting for the deer, and stories about fishermen, or they're using different weapons such as a fishing net, spear, bow and arrow. And so you can tell a lot of the folklore by the dance. And a lot of the fighters that perform Waiku speak of how it warms them up and gets them mentally prepared. That fighter just threw the spear out, and it just helps and relax them in the ring. And so sometimes when you have thousands of fans watching you, your heart is racing, but Waiku helps you get acclimated to that. And so in ancient Thai history, Nai Kanam Thom was considered the father of Muay Thai. And so when the Burmese invaded Thailand, they captured him, and they held him in captivity. And during the festival, they let him fight the king's bodyguard. And Nai Kanam Thom defeated every one of them, 10 of them. And so they actually granted his freedom, and he's considered the father of Muay Thai. So now we're on to the actual Muay Baran demonstration, ancient Muay Thai. And these guys have just done the show so many times, and they move just like a movie, just like a choreographed film. And also, you can see a beautiful display of Muay Thai, or the Muay Thai technique, Thai boxing technique. So they originally wore the Mong Kong, which was on top of their head, and then now they're wearing that around their neck. In the old days, when they had the Mong Kong, they pulled it down during combat because the Mong Kong was blessed by monks. So if you were in a sword fight and you grounded your opponent, you wouldn't decapitate your opponent because the Mong Kong was around their neck, and since it was blessed, you might be cursed in doing so. So some of the techniques you see in Muay Baran are still used in modern Muay Thai. But that technique I've never seen. I've only seen Tony Jaa do it, and that one too. So now there's been folklore about the rope bound around the fist was dipped in honey or molasses, and then subsequently dipped in glass, as personified by the film Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And although in Thai history there's never been any record of fighters dipping their hands in glass, but there has been record of fighters dipping their bounded fists in molasses and sand. So sand, giving that little bit more scraping, cutting type of motion on their gloves or on their hand wraps. The 3 times I went to Lumpinee back in 2004, they always did this show. So there was always, I can't remember, I think it was about 10 fights plus this show, plus 1 Western boxing fight, the Marquis de Queensberry rules. And so pretty much followed the same schedule. Yes, you watch Tony Jaa in the Protector, if you watched him in Ong Bak, you'll see a lot of these techniques. Ancient Muay Baran technique. Ancient Muay Thai. Oh, beautiful spin back elbow. And as always in Thai culture, paying respects to your opponent. So that was a great night, man. It was just a fantastic night. Again, if you have a chance, go watch a Thai fight in Thailand. You will not be disappointed. You'll be happy. You'll be glad you did an experience you'll never, ever, ever forget. The final event at its original site near Lumpinee Park was held on February 8th of 2014. The stadium then moved to its new location where it can hold up to 5,000 spectators. The new stadium held its first bout 3 days later and officially opened late February of 2014. My name is Coach D, and these are from my personal archives, all on The Real Fight Club.